every single week, you personally go to all of the facilities you work with and meet them in person and ask, hey, how's it going?
That's all I do on Mondays. I just go from facility to facility.
Welcome back to NEMT Experts. I've got Anthony and Erica Wardsworth with me. How you doing?
Hello.
Good. How you doing?
Thank you. We're doing great.
You started Legacy's Angel Transportation in the Dallas-Fort Worth area some time ago. I have seen you guys put the pieces together with the best resources in the industry. Can you just jump into the story of why and how you started Legacy's Angel?
Okay. So we started Legacy's because of realizing the need for the transportation. Back in the day before their passing, we had my mom and her mom who were going back and forth to the doctor. My background, I'm also a first responder, and I was the one who was able to take off and take everybody to their doctor's appointments. As a first responder, you get the crappy days, but that's the one that works for everybody's doctor's appointments. But as I was taking them, we would see people waiting for a ride for the whole appointment that I'm transporting them for. Years later, I found the paperwork for it and realized that it was a true service and the real need for it, and that's where it came from. And as far as our name, that's where we get our name from. The mothers that we were transporting are our angels that are riding with us.
I love when people get into this with a real mission. How long ago did you start the business?
We're going on 2 years now.
I feel like I've tracked you on social media for a long time. I can't believe it's actually only been 2 years. Tell me about when you started the company. What were the first rides you did? How did you get started?
It's actually from Erica. She can tell
I
the story.
can kind of tell a little bit of my background. So I dabbled many years in medical. I worked for a company that does post-acute brain injury, like in their office manager, case management department. And we had, well, we called them patients, but our patients when I was working there just had the need transportation, need to understand who they are. Some of those had a little bit of behaviors with TBIs and strokes. That's what we mainly dealt with, is TBIs and strokes. And when Anthony brought the idea to me of the transportation business, non-emergency medical transport, I thought, this would be a good area because an Uber doesn't want to take anybody, or a taxi cab doesn't want to take anybody that might have some mild behaviors, maybe some cursing, things like that. They're not going to want to transport anybody like that. So I was like, yeah, that would be a great need. And facilities, they don't have that compassionate care or know how to handle patients like that. And kind of knowing the background, working for them and in the medical field, that kind of just okay, this would be a great idea to move forward and make it happen. That's what we kind of did.
And as part of me being a first responder, I also did work with a mental health unit that goes around and serves the community and helps all the people with the calls that come in for people dealing with issues such as that. So I was already trained in a lot of the stuff that we were going to be dealing with.
Okay. So you already had the background to do these kinds of transports, and you already had relationships with people and organizations that needed these rides. Tell us about the first organization that you did your first rides for and how that went.
You want me? Okay. So yeah. So for the first facility, we had a client that would not fall with us, but fall with another transportation service. So we kind of got in that way as far as making sure that this man is not going to slip or fall again from his wheelchair. We were determined in that area where, okay, what's the cause? Like, what's going on? we went, Anthony, I think, went to go talk to the physical therapist at the rehab facility. Hey, what's going on? Like, does he not have trunk control? Why is he slipping from his wheelchair? Does he not have his seatbelt? What's going on? And come to find out, I think it was just the wheelchair he had wasn't a very good wheelchair. He didn't have a seatbelt on, just like little things like that, hey, we can fix this. So next couple of days, Anthony went to go and buy a wheelchair, and we placed him in the new wheelchair, of course, buckled him up, make sure he wasn't sitting on cushions and cushions and cushions, to make sure his bottom was flat to the wheelchair, and buckled him up, and he was there safe, and we got him to his appointment safe. And I think by Anthony's steps of going and buying a wheelchair and purchasing, the facility saw, oh my, this company, Legacy's Angels, truly does care and is compassionate about their clients, that we went the extra mile. And that's actually how we were able to get a partnership with them. And now they use us fully for transportation, just because of that one step that Anthony did, going to the PT. Hey, what's going on? Why is he, what's his condition, and that kind of just opened the eyes of the facility to say, okay, we want you guys to transport. We see the caring, of our drivers that care for them. And so that's how we got the partnership with them. And that's one step.
And that's one thing that we pride ourselves on. We show that extra care because we are personal with all the facilities and the people that we transport. We try to make sure that they get to see us. We just finished doing a paint the pumpkins with one of the facilities, went in there and spent some time with everybody. Because what I think a lot of these bigger companies, they think about it and they start just worrying about every dollar, and they lose that care for people. So we're still local, and I'm in my facilities that I have contracts with just about every week. Get to see them and interact with all of them.
Talk to them, say, hey, what's going on? Are you having any issues? I mean, that's a weekly thing he does, once a week.
Every single week, you personally go to all of the facilities you work with and meet them in person and ask, hey, how's it going?
Yeah. We talk to admin in there. We know people's names. We're like, hey, how you doing? Good morning. Good to see you. You just speak to them, and that makes their day.
At one of the facilities, we were in there so much. I went in there and gotten some of my dialysis patients. They're going out and they need lunch. We go in there and make sure they have their lunch. We go to the kitchen, make sure they get their stuff. I had the code for the thing. I went in there and got him a blanket because he was cold.
Yeah.
So we're very hands-on with our clients.
Talk about going the extra mile. How much time does it take you every week to go into personally all of these facilities that you work with?
I am still a first responder out here, so I have my days off. I keep my days off during the week. So on Mondays I'm off. My Mondays is that's my every day. That's all I do on Mondays. I just go from facility to facility. A good thing is that most of them are within the 20, 30 miles of our facility, our office here, and I can go reach out to all of them. But that's my Monday, every Monday.
So half a day, I would say, or a little longer. Yeah, it just depends, because if somebody needs to speak to something, talk to him about something, and like maybe something that's going on. It just depends on how long he's there to talk to them. But sometimes it's mostly, how you doing? How are your kids doing? Things like that, an interaction, like a family. I feel like NEMT what we do is we're part of the patient's care team. Honestly,
people too often underestimate how much the personal touch actually matters in this business, in winning contracts, maintaining contracts. It's amazing that you take up this time to do it every single week. Tell me about the numbers about the business. I know I've seen you guys expand up to 5 vehicles in just the 15 months that you've been on Bambi. You serve how many facilities? How many rides are you doing on a daily or weekly basis? Give me a sense of what the business looks like day to day.
So as far as we started, any business that starts, it's hard to get financing for it. So we started with our first van back in August, and quickly, because of the service we were given, we needed more. I was trying to hold off and say, no, we're going to wait to get this next van. And we needed it so much that we would have been struggling if we wouldn't have got it. So our quality of service is just what grew. Even like Erica explained with the young man who was falling out of his chair. That facility said, no, we're getting rid of everybody else we use. We're using you solely. Those vans had to come. So it was just that growing. So now we're doing, oh shucks, I think we do about 50 round trips a week out of them. It's people going back and forth to Dallas's and all their doctor's appointments. I think we get about 50 trips a week out of that one facility.
50 trips out of one facility. And you work with a number of facilities across the Dallas-Fort Worth area now.
Yes, sir.
Okay. So fleet of 5 now, right?
So we have 4 vans and a sedan that we use for our ambulatory.
How many trips are you doing a week, like total across all your facilities?
That's a good question. Because we also worked with Google and Harry Chambers, who set us up with the SEO and all the Google ads, and our private page blew up with that. So I think we're doing about just as many private as we are with facilities too. Shucks.
At least,
Yeah.
Shout out to Harry Chambers of Osborne Digital. His episode with Bambi is going to be releasing shortly as well.
Yes, yeah, Harry's amazing. He optimized everything for us, and with that, when it took us a while to get certified with Google or whatever they call it, but Harry got us set up and put us on Google, and we were another one where we were expecting the growth to be slower, but this very same day that those Google ads dropped, my phone was ringing off the hook, and we were just back-to-back calls. So it was amazing.
We were all answering the phones here.
Yeah.
So the lesson is, if you get Harry Chambers' help to get your digital presence and start getting business, you better be ready with your vans and your drivers.
Absolutely.
100%.
Absolutely.
I also want to mention, so you guys got the help of Christopher Buell. Is that right?
Yes, Chris was amazing with the part that he would show us how to get involved with the facilities, which some of the ways that he gets us in there align perfectly with what we do anyway. So just like we did the pumpkin painting that I was mentioning, it was one of the ways to get into the facility is to go in there and host a bingo night, maybe offer a trip or something to somebody as the winner of the bingo.
Mm-hmm.
You know, you got to get your foot in the door of the facility however you can, because if you just go in there and want to drop off your brochure, sometimes that finds its way to file 13 and you never hear from them again. But if you get in there and let them see your faces and get to know you, then they'll be like, oh, I remember that company. So that's it. It aligned with what we're all about anyway.
Christopher Buell. He knows how to help win facility contracts.
Oh yeah, and he gave us people that are companies that I wasn't even thinking about, like hospice centers. We hadn't even thought about that as a option, and it was him that put us on with that. And now I think we have contract with 3 or 4 of them.
I love that. Hey, if anyone wants an introduction to Christopher Buell, reach out at hibambi.com. I'd be happy to introduce you. And same with Harry Chambers of Osborne Digital. Tell me about the recent times in the business. You guys have grown, right, from 0 to 5 vehicles in the span of 2 years. Recently, especially, business has picked up, right, in terms of the number of vehicles you're using. What is this growth looking like? And Anthony, do you think you can sustain being able to visit all these facilities and organizations in person every week?
I worry about that all the time. It's actually one of the things that is my role with the company, to go around and do the visits. Honestly, I'm not the biggest talker, but my years as a first responder has gotten me to know how to relate with people a little bit better, and I am able to go out. So if we continue to grow, because I'm expecting to double within the next year or two, we continue to grow, then we'll fight it as it comes and jump on and enjoy the ride.
What would you say are the biggest challenges and learnings that you've had as you've scaled from 2 to 3 vehicles, 3 to 4, 4 to 5?
My biggest thing has actually just been insurance, learning what insurance we needed, what their going rates were, and understanding that what coverages we needed, because different facilities require that you have different kind of insurance. So when we're out there giving those contracts, we have to make sure that we have enough to cover all the facilities. Even if we deal with brokers, some of the brokers require different insurance rates. So I have been dealing with Swan Insurance, who have set me up.
Shout out to Mark Crawford at Swan Insurance.
Absolutely, yeah. Who I was talking to him at the NEMT that just left Dallas in what was that, August? But they set me up to make sure that all our vans and vehicles were covered with the correct amount of insurance, and that no matter what we ran into, we had enough for every facility that we went out and talked to.
Again, if you want to get connected with Swan, just feel free to reach out, hibambi.com. I'll connect you. So insurance, figuring that piece out, biggest challenge. What are these other like sort of big, I guess, learnings you would say, you know, things that you struggled with, that you figured out how to overcome, just for our audience of NEMT businesses out there who are earlier in their journeys than you are?
First thing was just market research. Get to know your market. And we were in the DFW area, and a lot of people will say that NEMT is oversaturated. But again, getting out on foot, going to meet people and talking to people in person, and figuring out what they needed. So I would go around to facilities before we even had our first van, and I'm talking to the different managers of the facilities, not to sell them on anything, because I didn't even have a van, or we didn't even have a van, but just to talk to them. So we learned what the need was before we even purchased that first van, which is a good thing, because you want to know what it is before you put yourself in any kind of debt or anything like that.
Absolutely. I've come across too many people who put the cart before the horse. You got to figure out the need in your area by actually going in person and talking with facilities that need transport. What do you see as the next 2 years of Legacy's Angels? You started 2 years ago. You've grown to 5 vehicles. You've really established a presence, you know, online with all your local facilities. You work with local businesses. Where do you see the company going from here in the next 2 years?
So we expect to double. Like I was saying, we have 5 now. In the next 2 years, we want to have at least 10, which is still good growth projections, because we don't want to grow too fast to where we wind up burning out. So I believe that 10 in 4 years, 3-4 years is actually a good number, because doing the numbers that we're doing right now, to double that'll be a good spot. We want to continue to keep that customer service that we're giving, and if we grow too fast, we might just lose that. So we want to make sure that we're able to do that.
Just continue to be, I would say, just to piggyback off what Anthony said, to be reliable, to be compassionate, because I feel like some of that can get lost once you start growing too quickly or too big. Making sure our drivers, and we're so blessed to have drivers that are truly caring, compassionate people that probably themselves have been caretakers and treat everybody that gets in their van like mom or aunt or uncle. But yeah, just to continue to continue to grow, but also keep that reliability, compassionate for our clients that ride with us and choose us. So.
And that actually is the right business strategy. Like in this industry, I've seen it time and time again. Facilities want to work with businesses like yours where they can really sense the care that you put in for each passenger, for each transport you want to do. It's the winning strategy. That's how more and more word of mouth spreads about Legacy's Angel Transportation.
That's where we want to keep it. We've also gotten with different companies, NEMT companies in the area. So we network with them also, and we want to continue to grow with them also. We are one of the ones we're going to share the wealth also. We know it's a lot of people out there that truly need this service. So we're going to help everybody to be on that same level.
You guys do pretty much exclusively private pay work, like one-off passengers and facility work. As you grow over the next 2 years, right, and you double the business, do you want to keep it that way?
We believe in that structure of the multiple streams. We want to have a little bit of everything. So we have reached out to a few brokers, but we basically, because of the way the brokers pay, we will use them to help fill in some of the gaps when we have them. But the private pay in the facilities is what got us where we are, and we want to keep that as our majority. When we got out there and started getting those facilities, when we first started, I was able to keep up with pen and paper and, Google Maps, see how long this trip is or what's the distance on it. But once that growth hit, we needed a software that would help us optimize all our trips. And I believe we started with the first van, and within that first month, we had the second one on with you. And it was just so much better being able to run Bambi Run. And it optimized it, tell me who's better to take this trip and who's better to take that trip. It
does the hard work for you.
Yeah. Takes a lot of guessing out of it.
Run Bambi Run.
Run Bambi Run.
With at least one of your facilities, you use Bambi's facility ordering feature. Is that right?
Yes. So we have that set up with one of the facilities, and we are also using that as part of our marketing right now, because it helps those facilities to optimize everything. Because even like we were saying, I'm going over there visiting with them on Mondays, and Mondays are busy for a lot of people. So it's kind of weird to get in there, and they're having meetings and everything. If they can just go to that portal and enter those trips in, and then we accept them on the other end, that's one less step or phone call or whatever they have to make, and we're off going and got the trip with it.
Kind of what Anthony was saying is, I go a lot into the facilities to do the marketing, talking to the directors of the facilities. And that's one of my pitching points. Like, and a lot of the facilities, they use their receptionist as their scheduler. So a receptionist knows everything, right? They answer the phones, the incoming calls, they make the calls out to schedule the appointment. So they know everything about the facility, right? So when I go in there, I say, I know you're on the phone and you're busy. I said, with this new software that we have an option to give you like a facility portal where you don't have to stay on the phone and wait and have your family members, trying to see one of your patients waiting for you to attend to them. You can just enter it in yourself, and then we can accept them or decline them if we can't take them. Really? And I couldn't tell you how many receptionists have told me, are you serious? I'm like, yeah. So it's just little type in here and there, and then, it goes directly into our portal. They're like, really? And I've gotten a contract because of mentioning that. It took off the receptionist off of the phones. Yeah. They love it. They love that option.
I love it too.
There you go.
Are there any final sort of words of wisdom or advice that you'd share with budding NEMT entrepreneurs?
My biggest thing is that you got to get out and do it. A lot of people that I see, they, analysis by paralysis, or paralysis by analysis, or whatever it is. And they wait. You got to get out and move. Put yourself out there.
Just do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. That's a good one.
That's it.
Tell them about the Broda.
Oh,
We do have an alternative. I don't know. We have an alternative to the stretcher. I know you asked previously about if we do stretcher. We have the Broda chair. He's sitting on it.
Oh my gosh, you're sitting on the Broda chair.
it's comfortable.
It's very comfy.
We call it the Cadillac.
Shout out to my buddies at Broda.
That's it.
Run, Broda, run.
Yeah.
One time I called and you answered. I was like, hello.
He did that to me. That's why I told you I went with him, because I think he called me back on a Sunday night. Like it was like 8 o'clock at night. I'm like, who does
Oh,
that?
wow.
Like,
That's something I would do.
yeah,
Or he would do.
that's what I was saying. I was like, that's that personal
Touch. Yeah,
touch.
that's
And it's like,
awesome.
and you're like, oh yeah, this is
I was like, who?
what? No. And that's what I get when I go out and drive. People don't believe that I'm one of the owners. It's like, what?
Yeah.
And you're driving? Like, yeah, I still get out and drive. Because I was always that guy. You got to learn from the ground up. And if I'm not out there doing it, I don't know what my drivers are going through. So I want to make sure everything's involved.
Should have said that.
Hmm?
So you should
Well,
have said that.
You know.
But now think about it.
Yeah.
It's fine. But yeah.
It's still recording.
Ah,
Well, there you go. You got it.
that's how you get the best footage. You still tell them it's going. Run, baby, run.